Good morning, y'all. How are you? I thought Reba's getting ready to be in trouble. She's trying to find a way off the porch. I guess I'll have to give her a better run through. Thought I would show you all of our babies. They're getting ready to go in the field. Part of them will be in the morning, and part of them will be by Monday. So they're just kind of going through the hardening off process. We have some on the porch that are not quite big enough. Reba, darling, please don't damage my plants. they've had a difficult life. But anyway, this is the exciting part. We're finally getting ready to put them in the ground. And I want to take you around here and show you what happened yesterday. Some of y'all, if you had watched the short that I did yesterday evening, showing our neighbor John and Hugh putting in this little driveway area. And the reason is because the lower little road going up into the field is kind of steep and bumpy. There comes another kitty. They're everywhere. And this bank was way too steep to bring flowers out of the field. For one thing, it kind of worried me a little bit. But the other thing is that just when you come down that bank, it's going to pretty much slosh the plants significantly and cause them to bounce around too much. And I was concerned about them just breaking. So I don't know if you can really see the difference, but it's intensely different. This is just such a nice, gentle little slope. And he will take the scraper blade and just smooth it down. Yeah. But I guess you can see how much of a rise there is right there. It's about 2.5, 3 feet. But up there it was just a big bump down. But yeah, let me turn around and just show you. It's just a very, very gentle, very gentle rise now up to this garden area. And no bumpiness. Yay. Maybe you can see it better up here. Yeah, you can. See how gentle that is? Just a very slight rise. And we'll just grass it. We don't need gravel for, because basically I'll be using the lawnmower with my little cart right here. It will hold, excuse me, pollen. It will hold about 6 buckets. But when Huey gets the side-by-side built back, I will use it. And Chelsea and I attempted burning the holes yesterday for our starts that are going in tomorrow. It wasn't real successful. It was very successful where the plastic actually touched the ground, you can see. But where it was above the ground, you can see that little air gap underneath of it just caused it not to burn right. So instead, we're just gonna take our little razor and cut it as we go. But yeah, the sunflowers, which will be mostly what we'll set out tomorrow, will be down here in these uncovered rows. The sunflowers grow so quickly. I mean, they're 55 to 60 days from seed to bloom. So they'll just go in these rows without any cover. And everything else we have started will go in these, simply because we had the plastic. We decided we might as well use it. And this warms the ground up. And since these plants that we're putting in the ground tomorrow are really too early, we're hoping that just the ground being a little bit warmer will give it the extra help that it needs. Yeah. As long as I've gardened, y'all, I don't know how I got my dates all kind of skewed, but they're skewed. That's all right. We'll go with it this year. I might have early plants that won't do exactly what I want them to do, but that's all right. This coming week we'll be starting another 5,200 plants. Oh gracious. The sunflowers, we're starting about 620 some every week. The rest of the plants, we're just restarting those every month. That way that gives us some fresh blooms, and we're not having to pick through blooms that are just, sporadic, and some that are struggling. And so look how beautiful and green. This is a beautiful, beautiful day, and I just want to be out here working right now. I've got to go feed my chickens, and Hugh has a dental appointment at 12:30 over in Asheville. So that will be our morning today. And but I'll get to come down here and work a little bit this afternoon. Chelsea's going to come and just run the hoe along the top of these beds and just make sure that there's not any weeds trying to get ahead of us. And we're not going to allow that to happen. And I went day before, well, a few days ago. This pathway's not finished. You can see out there where it gets all gnarly. We want to get these pathways smoothed down just so there's no, there's less hazard of twisting an ankle or anything of that nature. But I went and bought buckwheat and paid a fortune for it over in Asheville because our co-op didn't have it. And the man from the co-op called me yesterday, and he said, I'm getting it on Monday, and it's such and such dollars a pound, or a 50-pound bag for $55. And I said, I will be there Monday to pick it up, because I bought 22 pounds at $4 a pound over in Asheville. I cannot believe how expensive it was over there. So that kind of really annoyed me, and I thought I'm just going to go ahead and get a 50-pound bag and have it sitting waiting for when I need to use it, because the goal is to keep these beds, when they're not going to be used within the month, to keep them totally covered over with a nice row cover that keeps the dirt in much better shape. It'll be tilled in when it's time to use the garden beds. About a week before, we'll cut it down and till it in. That just puts lots of nutrients and some biomass into the soil. Our little microbes will love it. The whole idea of the no-till growing, which was my preferred method, isn't going to take place for a while. I'm using Lisa Ziegler's method to the best of my ability, totally, for these first couple of years, until I feel like I know what I'm doing well enough to maybe branch out and try something different. And then I may not branch out and try something different. I may just be totally satisfied with what I'm doing there. But what we will do is keep ground cover, or keep the row cover. I don't even know what it's called. My mind went blank. But anyway, keep buckwheat on it in the summer. Keep winter wheat on it in the winter. Probably in the springtime, I'm thinking clover. I've got to check and find out. But any beds that aren't going to be filled within a month, like I said, they'll just have the cover on them. Keep the weeds at bay, and also to put some nutrition into the ground when they're turned in. And I hear the neighbors having a driveway paved. Oh, look at the bluebird. Did you see him go by? Beautiful little bright thing. But anyway, then when we're ready to actually plant in that garden, we'll till it in, smooth it down, build our beds, and put a few inches of the compost on top of those beds, and maybe a little bit of organic fertilizer, and we should have nice rich soil ready to grow in. And I think I told y'all the other day that the organic fertilizer actually is beneficial to the microbes. It doesn't have salts in it and things like the fertilizers that the synthetic fertilizers actually damage your soil microbes. So any of you gardeners out there, if you didn't know that, and I didn't know that as many years as I've gardened, but if you didn't know that, you know that now. So don't use the synthetic fertilizers. Switch over to the organic fertilizer, and we're using something like a really gentle 5-4-3 or 5-3-2. I can't remember the numbers, but just puts just a little bit in the soil, but enough to really benefit the plants. And then if I apply a foliar fertilizer through the growing weeks, it'd be my stinky fish fertilizer. That stuff is horrible, y'all. I use that on my porch where I've started my plants, and it will just, the day after I actually use it, it will just kind of take your breath. It's so stinky. But by the second day, it's usually evaporated enough that I can't smell it so much. But this day is so gorgeous. I just want to be home and out here doing something, just kind of walking through these fields waiting for tomorrow so I get these plants in the ground. But I'll be patient. Huey needs to go to the dentist, so let's get the dentist done. And this is a very happy thing right here. I've wanted this for a long time. It has finally came to fruition. It just feels like everything is happening fairly quickly, and I cannot wait in about a month and a half or so to see this field absolutely ablaze in color. It will be so fun, and it's going to be fun kind of to watch people, driving up and down the road, and you'll see them slow down and stop and look. Chelsea and I have to get our signs made. We want to get one to put over at the road coming soon, and then we've got to get our signs made for the farmers co-op that we're going to, and we've got to get our displays for duckets and for Presnells where we're going to be selling through, and quite a bit to do. We've got to get our cool room built downstairs in the basement. The grow room will happen this fall. We're doing okay with what we have going now, so we're going to leave the pressure of building the grow room for later. It'll be this fall, and we can continue on with other things that are more important right now. And these little guys are all looking pretty good. Get Huey's handle out of there. But they're growing. I've got to bring my hoe down here and get rid of some of these little weeds. Every time I pass, I pull a few more little pieces of grass. But I need to just come down here and cut their little heads off with my hoe. But the cabbages are growing, and the carrots and celery, and the snapdragons are slow. These over here are doing pretty good. But these sweet peas are really slow. So I don't know, I probably just got them out way too late. But that's all right. They'll do what they do. The roses, I still haven't gotten those trimmed back. But this one, you can see there's some new growth at the bottom. So I'm going to give him another year to see what he decides to do. Of course, the climbing rose over there looks great. Needs a couple of dead limbs cut off of him. This guy, I've decided, is totally dead. He's not doing anything, so he needs to just be pulled out. And this guy, I can't decide. He's got one little limb over there that has a little bit of leaf growth on it. So I might leave him for another few months and just see if he does anything at all. And of course, the yellow rose of Texas. Look at this, y'all. Look at the blooms. I mean, he's covered up in blooms. And I would have truly thought, I don't know if I've ever paid attention to the time of year that it blooms, but we are, toward the end of April, and I would have thought that we should have been closer to the end of May before we had any blooms going on. That one's pretty close to actually opening up. But, all right. Well, I am going to go feed my birds and get ready to take Hubie to the dentist. And I will talk to y'all later on. Love you much. Bye-bye.